Yo, hello guys. Recently finished a tattoo design here, and I got some ideas that I could improve and do better, and hopefully it could help you uh, think about shading and do better as well, and don't do as bad as me, right? Alright, let's take a look. So this is the finished piece, and let's go through the whole project really quickly. So this is the original design I got for the monsters. So there's this winged guy with huge wings and 4 arms, and then there's this guy with a long tail. And this is the pose I was provided. I wanted it to be more dynamic, so the first pass I did was actually like this. Curving them like a ball looks more equal, right? But the client doesn't like it, so back to the drawing board. So came up with something like this, similar to his design, and he liked it. So so yeah, so this became the final piece. So I started with the sketch and line work. Here you can see the final lines. What I could do better is I wish I had better line variations. Now you can see the more interesting points, or the points I want you to see pop out. I use a stronger line here, but I would like to have more variation than these thick line and thin lines. So next time forward should have used thinner lines for the details. So after that I gave it a basic shadow tone. I didn't use black. It is around 80% black because I want to save the best stuff for the last, right? So and the black back, darkest black really could pop things, right? So save your secret weapon to the last, to the lowest, right? So here, adding the black accents and to the mouth and to the parts with occlusion shadows occur, and yeah, also on the smaller monster. And then here, adding more stronger core shadows, right? More variation on the tone, and finally adding the highlights and mostly around the face of the monsters, because I want you to look at them for stronger contrast. So how could I do better? Uh, some thoughts on shading first. So at first I'm not totally sure about the shapes. I got trouble designing the shapes, right? So I pulled out Mr. Alien and Mr. Skull here, so they helped a lot for me to design the shadow shapes. So number one, use relevant reference. Right, it's huge. Definitely helped me a lot to think about the shapes. And number two, use a strong or united light direction or one core shadow to prove up the shape. Because when I just started, the the too many details, right? The shapes look separated, and then they don't look like one thing. But I wanted them to look still uniform, right? Should be able to communicate as a small form and a big form at the same time. So stronger here at the wings, here the core shadow linking up the whole wing, right? And some lights. This side I use the lights, right, to link up the whole form to communicate it's a piece of wing itself. So definitely did well there. And Last thing is I wanted more. I used it here, but I need to use it more. As you can see, I use sharper edges for the highlights, right? Contrasting the soft edges of the shadows. But I think I could push it more and even lose some of the line work next time. So I'll definitely try that. So my learning points are designing better shapes on the light and shadow. I think they could be more interesting than this, and more line weight variations definitely better than this. And then yeah, and too many details here actually. I should have ended up hiding some of them in shadows. It still looks a bit busy, right? Right? Still looks a bit busy, though after the contrast is added in, you could still focus on the head because these lines are all leading to the head of this monster, right? And then you see this conflict. So it's still communicatable, but it could be done better, right? So I should have hide some of them in shadows. I think the silhouette is strong enough, uh, but not here. These two arms doesn't communicate in the silhouette. The client really want this fighting pose, so I try to make them useful to look expressive, right? To give you an idea, like what will this thing do? It was probably something nasty, right? To grab its ass or something. So that's it for today. Hopefully you learned something. I definitely did. So hopefully I could do better next time. And until next time, I will see you soon. Bye bye.